Here we go.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Good evening.
Wow. I miss all you after a long time away from you. So
Namaste.
here we are to present you a new episode of the Be Impact Show. This program is where the cultures meet and the verses explain by themselves. And today we have a special welcome and a great honor to receive here the notable featured guest, the poetess Rupali Sircur. Welcome, my dear.
Thank you so much.
Welcome to the show, Rupali ma'am. It's an honor, and it feels great to open the show after a long gap with a poet like
Okay.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
It's a
Such an
great
honor.
honor, you see. So hope you enjoy this time. Okay?
Yes, I'm sure. But I will,
Okay.
I thought, there'll be other poets I can hide behind them.
No, you are in the limelight, full limelight today.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Vandan and I will be your hostess. Okay?
Thank you so much. It's an
So
honor. It's a
I'd
real
like,
honor.
okay, thank you, dear. I would like you to start at this moment introducing yourself to all of us.
Okay. So, you
Okay?
know my name. I'm Rupali Sircur Gaur. Sircur is my maiden name, and Gaur is my patriarchal husband's name. And I I retired a few years back from Delhi University, where I was a professor of English literature. And I used to teach creative writing at the Indira Gandhi National Open University. And I've been writing poetry for a very long time, but I think, it's only just from 2019. And when the COVID came in, that the world closed in, and then we all began to meet each other, that we began to actually write, not only just write poetry, but read our poems also. And so I'm married to an army officer. He's now a veteran soldier. He's retired. We live in a small town in a very spacious kind of colonial house in a place called Meerut, which is 60 kilometers away from New Delhi. And I'm also the daughter of an army officer. I have come from a family of people from the military. So I have a very special concern for the military, for soldiers, their families, and especially to work for peace, because it's always the soldier and the soldier's families who don't want war. It's very interesting that although we are pushed into war, we are the ones who don't want it, and now the world is being torn apart. It's a great concern for me as a writer and a poet. And I write, if you ask me what kind of poetry do I write, I'm very, very conscious of the life around me, especially people around me, people who are less privileged, people, ideas and thoughts around. I seldom write about my own, sorrows. It is always that I look at the world outside. It could be the man who's doing my gardening, or somebody who comes in to clean up the house, or help me in any other form. The second thing that I would like to say about myself is that more than writing poetry, or writing anything, I'm an academic after all, and I've traveled widely all over the world. I actually like to help women, especially, to write poetry and to write, not just write poetry, but to write. I think it's very good for our mental health. It's wonderful for our confidence. And I have brought out 14 international anthologies, and mainly because, and I haven't published any of my poems into a book because I'm so busy with anthologies, suddenly an idea will come to my mind. And I want all sorts of people to write. And I get after people. I have turned people who have never written poems to write poetry. and they have become very well known now. They are known for their writing, and that is the great pride I get. I also sponsor. I don't have a great deal of money, but instead of spending it on gifts at weddings and all, I gift it for print publishing a book. You know, if there is a person who is not able to afford to publish a book, I'm very happy to support that. So these are the little things that I do for literature, and I'm so happy because I have now, through poetry, not just poetry, other forms of writing, made friends all over the world. And when we talk about love, I feel great love for the people I meet on. They've become such great friends of mine, and I feel very blessed. I feel extremely blessed. So I'm happy to be here today, and I'm so honored that you have invited me. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Thank
we
you.
thank you
Yes,
for.
exactly.
I'm very happy to know you in more details. It's a great privilege. Okay,
Yes, so
now,
really, really great and so inspiring to know more about you. Really
yeah,
admirable. Yeah.
really inspiring. So, dear, I'd like to ask you, in your opinion, which ancient poet um, rock the literature world, in your opinion? And would you like to recite to us a poem from him or her?
You know, when I read the word ancient, I wasn't sure because, you know, in India we have a 5,000-year-old history. And so I went back and looked at some Sanskrit poets and all, but especially like Ali Das, you know. But then I found that they were very sensual and very sexual depiction of women and men. So I dropped that out and I thought I'd come closer home and choose Rabindranath Tagore. He's not ancient, but he was writing in the early part of the, you know, late part of the 19th century, early part of the 19th century. And I've chosen a short poem. It's called Endless Time. He won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1913. He's the first Indian to have won the Nobel Prize. He was also knighted by the Queen, by the King of England, but he returned his knightship. That is, he was Sir Rabindranath Tagore, but he removed it because when he found that the British were being very cruel to us Indians, and they were, you know, we needed a freedom for this country, for which he wrote a lot. A very spiritual poet, an extremely spiritual poet. So this poem is called Endless Time. Shall I read it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. Time is endless in thy hands, my lord. There is none to count thy minutes. Days and nights pass and ages bloom and fade like flowers, thou knowest not how to wait. Thy centuries follow each other, perfecting a small wild flower. We have no time to lose. We have no time to lose. Just 1 second. And having no time, we must scramble for a chance. We are too poor to be late. And thus it is that time goes by, while I give it to every querulous man who claims it, and thine altar is empty of all offerings to the last. At the end of the day, I hasten in fear lest thy gate be shut, but I find that yet there is time. So he is a universal poet. He writes of
Great,
God oneness. Thank you
great
so much.
choice, great choice. Thank you, thank you. So now it's a time we call dynamic time. In this segment, Vandana will conduct us to a relaxed moment. Okay, let's go.
Okay.
Vandana, please.
Yes. Okay. So in this this part of the program, it's called the word dynamic. So, ma'am, I'm going to give you, and Jelda, ma'am, you also play with us. I
Yeah.
am going to give you a word, and you have to give me back a reply in one word, the first thing that strikes to you after listening to the word I gave you. All right. So, my first word for today is flowers. Okay, Rupali ma'am, flowers.
Corn flour. Corn flour.
Corn flour. Okay. Okay. Yes, Gelda ma'am.
Billionaires. Billionaires.
Didn't get you, Gelda ma'am. Beautiful.
Billionaires.
Okay. All right. My second word is flickering.
Candle.
Flickering candle. Great word. Okay. Gelda ma'am.
Lights.
Flickering lights. Okay. Then next word for you, Rupali ma'am. Field.
Pardon?
Field.
Field.
F-I-E-L-D. Field.
Okay, field. Um, wheat.
Sorry?
Wheat. Okay. Wheat. Wheat.
Wheat. Okay.
W-H, yeah, wheat. Yeah.
Okay, wheat. All right. Gelda ma'am. Field.
View.
Few.
View.
View, view.
Yeah.
View.
View. VIEW.
Got that. Okay. All right. And the last word is fly.
Sorry.
F-L-Y.
Fly.
Fly.
Fly. Eagle.
Eagle. Okay. And Gelda ma'am.
High.
High. Fly high. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And let me see what I can do with these words for you. All right. So, Gelda ma'am, you can,
Yeah.
go to the next segment while I do this.
Yeah. Yes. Rupali, we now will continue our moment. So now I would like to hear you recite your own poem. Okay,
Okay.
please.
Uh-huh. Now, this poem is called I Remember That Day. Now, this was some years ago, maybe 15, 20, maybe more. I don't remember when I was teaching that there was a lot of young people from Palestine who were calling for a separate country for peace and so on. And I had taken a few students, and we had gone to the annexee of our parliament where we spoke about Palestine. Now, I suddenly the other day, when all this was going on, I called it I Remember That Day. Many years ago, when in the annexee of the parliament, we had spoken for Palestine. I have not forgotten those young men who had so joyously hugged us. We too were young then. We had spoken for them, for their right to a homeland. They only wanted peace in their lifetime. It seems not so long ago that they spoke of peace. Then who and what filled those hands with gunpowder? And they thought little of mothers and children blown to bits. Then, when guns and missiles turned around and pounded the city of Gaza, killing children who play no part in violence, the world watched in my horror. Here, where swaddling clothes are morphing into shrouds, no place to bury them except laps of mothers freshly dead. I can't write poetry about the smoke and the howls of pain and agony and the lamentations over butchered children. Those videos you upload to tell us what is happening, I shut them off. They're unbearable. I'm helpless. I'm no longer young. The fire in me is dying. The embers no longer smolder. I can no longer speak. My voice is weak. I don't know who wants what and who should have what. I'm only scrounging for bits and scraps of life, lingering amid smoke and the acrid smell of burnt flesh. One day, the sound of guns and cannons and the deafening explosion of bombs will be silent. The simmering, boiling, rancid, death-defying smells of hatred and anguish will smolder and wait. Every day, every day I read of the forthcoming elections, the fight for the ballot, the corruption and rising, food prices and push those other images away. The villages of Dalits are burning, their women and children raped. The bombs are falling, they're falling somewhere far away. O poet, rise out of your stupor. Remember, we are the world, we are the people. O poet, rise out of your stupor. Remember, we are the world, we are the people. Let our voices be the clarion call. The voices of poets will break down walls. Let our voices be the clarion call. The voice of poets will break down walls. Thank you.
Wow, awesome, awesome creation. Thank you so very much for this moment. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me here to be able to express myself.
Wow, it is great. It's great and so good to hear your voice recited. Great. Thank you, my dear. Vandana, are you ready to reveal to us the
Yes.
moral of the dynamic?
Okay, so with the words I and you gave me back, with our words, I have, just put them together, which I think make a little sense, or I don't know, let's see. So, dim light of a flickering candle, beauteous view of the wheat fields, soaring high soaring eagles, cornflowers golden. Oh, what a view.
Wonderful.
Okay, Vandana. Oh, wow. Congratulations to us. We just created a microphone.
Yeah, but can I hear that again? Can I hear that again?
Yes,
Can
yes,
you read
sure.
that again? Yes, yes.
Yeah. Dim lights of a flickering candle. Beauteous view of the wheat field. High soaring eagles, cornflowers golden. Oh, what a view.
Well, you're brilliant.
Great, Vandana.
You're brilliant. I wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah. Dear Rupali, this moment is when we want to show to everyone the value of the words.
Yes.
It's not necessarily much words, many words for communicate. Okay. In a short words, we can create profound messages.
Absolutely. This is brilliant.
And show the power of the words.
Yes.
I have never come across anything like this before. And this is exactly what I want people to do, to write, to express themselves. It's so good for our mental health too, to see the world and its beauty, Oh my God.
It's like fixing a jigsaw puzzle for me, putting together words to make some kind of sense which may sound good to others, like a poetry, or not just poetry, just random, but it feels good to hear.
Superb. You're brilliant. Yes.
It was brilliant, Vandana, brilliant.
Thank you.
So this moment, my dear, I would like you tell to everyone a message to the world. Taking a glance to the world, actually, which message would you like to say?
Is this for me? I don't know if my message has any value, but I think it's a message which is common. And that is firstly that, all faiths are the same. We all worship the same God. and the God is formless because there's too much of fighting going on all over the world because of religion and so on. And I come from a background where God is just one, He's formless, but His many forms are seen in us. You know, especially as an Indian, we see God in everything. You know, we see it in the trees and the rivers. We see God in human beings. We see them in animals, and then we put it all together in an artist's vision of God. That is not God. This is the artist's vision. I want people to know that. And I want that everybody should understand that there is no religious text or no text which talks of God that doesn't talk of love, that doesn't talk of peace, that doesn't talk of compassion and kindness and giving. And if we could only spread this word and not say, let's not talk about these things. No, we must talk about them. We must talk about them so that we put across the right message that there is only one God and He's formless, and that we're all humans. When you cut my, hand, it'll bleed red, and Gelada, you're sitting in another country, your blood will be red, and so would the Vandana's blood be red. I have two hands and one nose and two eyes. We're not freaks. We are human beings, and we must. This is my message, and I really, really wanted to go through poetry, to writing, through whatever means we can find. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to say
Oh,
this.
Well said, ma'am. Really.
exactly.
Yes.
I agree completely. Really, it is a meaningful message to the world. Thank you so, my dear. And so now I would like you show to us or tell us about your books, about your projects of literature. Can you show
Uh,
us?
I can show you some books, but I can maybe talk about it more because I'll have to get up and get them. Um, you know, I have published about 14 international anthologies. One is on the armed forces, but not on the Indian armed forces, but on the armed forces all over the world. It's called The Forces With Us. And then we have had families of armed forces people writing in, children, wives, from England, from America, from India, from Pakistan, and from Bangladesh, from wherever. So that's one of the books that I'm very proud of. And the other is, which is very handy, I can, show it to you, is this book. It's called Poetry on a Plate with Spicy Mango Pickles. It's all
Show
about,
to us.
yeah,
Show, close, close.
yeah, poetry on a plate. What is?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
better, it's
Wow,
better.
nice.
Oh, oh,
Uh-huh.
nice title, nice title. I love it.
And then,
Nice, nice.
uh, and then, of course, I have. I would really like to talk about a book that, while there are so many of these books that have come out, one of the first ones is when I couldn't get 2019. I didn't know any poets. A few women poets, but I wanted to bring out this book on women poets globally. I managed only 26. Today, if you have putting up a book, you get hundreds of poets, but because of
True.
the internet. But then I could
Yes.
just get 26, and you won't believe it that I would just go up to people and say, "Do you write? Do you write
Oh,
poetry?"
I see.
And it's called Women's Voices. Voices are global. I can't remember it right now. And but what I want to talk to you about is, which is very, very interesting. I'm bringing out a book which I hope that in another maybe 15 days I should be able to complete it. It's called 70 Carrots and More, Memoirs of Indian Women. And these are women above 70.
Mm-hmm.
My
Okay.
oldest my oldest contributor is 95 years old.
Oh, wow. Wonderful.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So this is 70 carrots
interesting,
and more.
really.
So I have, and I'm so hungry for stories that even as it's being sort of put together, I'm catching hold of people. I meet somebody who's 75 and say, oh, you have a story, tell me. And the person says, I was a veterinary doctor and, I lost my husband when I was 30 years old. And I said, you have a story. I need it. And then I said, I'm bringing out this book, 70 Carrots or More. And she says, I'm 92. So I have a 92-year-old contributor also. So I
So
have
do
women from all. Yes, tell me. Yeah.
yeah. So